Broadcasting from the C lot of Jones C. Edwards Stadium, the ThunderCast is here with all the sights and sounds of game day. We are your tailgate destination. We are your fan base amplification. We are the ThunderCast, and we are live.
Welcome to ThunderCast Live. I'm here with Jed Horton in the C lot. Make your way over here if you're in the stadium and watching. Come over here. We'll talk about our tailgate in just a second. I've also got KD down in Tampa as always. KD, what's going on?
Another sunny day down here in Land O'Lakes, Florida, but I'm happy to be at least virtually at the C lot with you guys.
Yeah. Cold. I'm going to say 45-ish.
Can't
maybe.
relate.
Yeah. So you take all that sun, and I'll tell you where you can stick it.
Where the sun don't shine?
That's right. Well, the sun ain't shining here. It just went down, and it dropped another 5 degrees or so. But we don't care what the weather's like. We've got it 75 weeks, so it doesn't matter if it's snowing, ice, whatever. We're going to be inside to watch this game. Decent crowd over in the West lot. Over here in the C lot, about 50% of what we normally see or whatever. But our tailgate, we still got a lot of people here. And we're going to get into that in just a minute. But ThunderCast Live made possible by Jed and Ignite Link. So Jed Horton with Ignite Link. Jed, if you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about how all this came about and what you do, and then we'll get into some more about this.
About a half ago, I was, what on earth is this? So I downloaded a few episodes, checked it out, and I was like, okay, I have to be a part of this. This is awesome. So went ahead and slid into the ThunderCast DMs, and we met up. We got to talking and what we could do to sponsor, but also help. So then we got to talking, and that's where ThunderCast Live was born. And here we are doing ThunderCast Live. So
much more than a sponsor. We will talk about what you do as a sponsor, but ThunderCast Live, KD says it best all the time. He says, you are a strategic partner. Without you, we don't have all of this. I mean, the slick production that we have, which you tell everyone, it's not what you do, but you do it well. But what do you do?
Yeah. So Ignite Link is a managed IT service provider. So we work with small, medium, and even large businesses with their IT environment. For the small and medium-sized businesses, we manage it all for you. So from your cybersecurity to your backup to your PC's network and everything, above and beyond, we're that strategic partner with you. And for the larger organizations too, that just maybe they already have an IT department but need some extra services or maybe some consulting, some extra help, we do that too. So from managing your firewalls to your backups to providing you with some cybersecurity, EDR, whatever it is, we provide that for those clients as well.
At a bargain compared to having an in-house internal IT department.
Yeah. Well, and anymore, guys, it's gotten to the point where this stuff changes so fast, and we are so reliant on technology that if it's down, or if God forbid your data gets stolen, or you get hacked or something like that, it's detrimental for especially a small, medium-sized business. So that's why we're here. We're here to take that headache off of you and manage it and be your partner.
Yeah. So give Jed a call. Give him an email. Whenever you do, it's jed@ignite.link. Website is ignite.link. He makes it very easy. Get a hold of them, and they'll take care of all your IT needs. But KD, going from one set of initials, IT, over to KD, another set of initials. Tell us a little bit about this game, what you're looking at, what you're thinking.
First thing I'm looking at, obviously, is that it's 75 week, and it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the field across from the herd. This week, this game is always all about our university, our city, our people, our team, and nothing else, right? So a lot of folks are going to say, yeah, that's all well and good, but let's get to the game. But I'm not just going to take that and go, all right, well, let's get to the game, because that's just how important this week is.
Yeah.
It's always going to be the most important game on the schedule. for a lot of the reasons I just said, and we all know the story, right? And if you really take that story to heart, then I don't know, you don't want to breeze past these things and just talk about the game.
Right.
So I'm not going to do that, because 75 week is important, and you mentioned it on the regular ThunderCast this week, Russ. As you get older, it just means a little bit more to you every single year, and I feel the same way. I feel the same way, and I don't have a personal relationship with anybody that was involved in the plane crash. I don't know, anybody's grandparent or grandchild or anything like that. The closest I get to that is that we have some friends whose parents were students at the time, and I have a relationship with them, and I like seeing them, but it just means a lot to me. And I also say each and every year and every time we get to talk about the plane crash and the rebirth and the rise and the championships and all the wins and all of that stuff becomes part of you. It's part of your fabric, and it's part of my fabric. And I love that it's a part of my fabric, because there's nothing in the world like 75 week at Marshall University. It's the greatest thing in sports. Yeah, I'm biased, but I don't care. It's the greatest thing in sports, man. The story that only we have. It's the best thing in sports.
We just had a football player from that era over here at the tailgate before we started recording, and he was on the 69 team. He was on the 70 team, but was off the team by the time November rolled around, so he wasn't on the plane crash. And then I think he was back for the 71 squad as well. He gave one of the memorial speeches at the fountain years ago, not too long ago. Just talking to him about that, and knowing that there's so many other people from that era that have the stories that he does and everything, just what that night meant, what the years following meant. It's sobering to even think about 53 years after the fact.
Yeah, it certainly is. But I tell you, man, I mentioned this before in the show. I'm really glad that we made a little bit of a transition and a small little tweak officially to this game, and it's become less of a memorial and more of a tribute, because it's equally about the young Thundering Herd and what we were able to accomplish in 1971 to 2023 and hopefully beyond, as it is about what happened in 1970 and the rise to prominence, the FCS at the time 1AA powerhouse that Marshall turned into in the early to mid 90s, the transition to FBS or 1A ball in the late 90s, and just dominating for the better part of a decade, fresh into that transition. James Madison's getting a lot of hype this year for being a really good team in a transitional year, but it was Marshall that was really that first team that came in and dominated. Before Boise, before App State, it was Marshall that came in and did that.
We've got the blueprint. We were what everyone wanted to be at our level or moving up to our level.
That's right. So the story of the birth from the ashes we rose, you just won't ever get tired of talking about it. And I'm rubbing my chest because I get chill bumps talking about it.
Well, I'm rubbing my chest here in a minute because it's 20 degrees here.
but that's my school. You know what I mean? That's not some faraway school that's like, wow, what a really cool tradition that is. That's my school, and I get to talk about it, and it's something that I'm a part of, and I just freaking love it, man. It just never, ever, ever gets old to me. And we're a couple of days away from the actual crash anniversary, and on the 14th, I always find the time to watch some. If I have enough time, I'll watch the whole thing, but I'll always try to find time to watch at least some of We Are Marshall, because I just feel like you have to do that. You should do that.
And we've started that tradition, so all of my kids have seen the movie, and we do that every year. We sit down as a family and pick a time around that time to kind of watch the movie and just it's a good reminder of where we are, where we live, what the school means to the town, and just to reflect on that. It's a tradition like none other.
None other. I take this 880 miles away from me. I guarantee you, I'm the only guy around that is engaged in a Marshall football game the way that I am. You know, we have some friends that live close to me, but they're still an hour away.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people within less than an hour radius of me to where those folks are. And I bet you I'm one of a handful that is as engaged as I am. But I guess if you want to talk about the game, then we're here to do that.
Yeah.
And it's Georgia Southern, a classic Southern Conference rival.
Yep.
You know, there's that same era of fan, that's that Southern Conference era fan that hates the hell out of App State, also hates the hell out of Georgia Southern in a completely different way. You know, it's just like, we want to beat those guys. And I can dig that, you know, and it's the first time they've made the trip to Huntington since 1995. So there's a whole generation of Georgia Southern fans that's just never been here. Like, it's not even on the radar for them, you know. So this is cool in a different way. That way, you know, it's a new era of fan, several eras of fan, really, that are making the trip to Huntington for the first time, getting to see what Huntington is and how it intertwines with Marshall and how it's really, really freaking special here. And they get the treat of being here on 75 week when it's just a totally different level, right? So Georgia Southern 6-3, they're bowling already. 3-2 in the conference. They're trying to keep pace and vie for that Sun Belt East Division still very much in the hunt, especially after today's games. App State beat Georgia State earlier, so that took Georgia State another one in the loss column. Coastal Carolina was able to win earlier. So the shakeup is not complete here. We still got one big game to play. We've got some respectable losses. I mentioned earlier during the ThunderCast earlier this week, their losses in conference are to James Madison, who's still undefeated. They won today, by the way. And they went down and lost to Texas State just last week, 45-24. So you can put points up on this Georgia Southern defense. You can move the ball on this Georgia Southern defense. It's the question for me, I think, really is, A, are we able to do that? And B, are we going to be able to create enough turnovers and get enough stops through the air to slow this Georgia Southern offense? Russ, do you think the Herd is able to do that today?
They're able, and it's whether or not they do. It's what team shows up. We have capable players and a capable unit to do that. We've got a capable defense that really, we saw it earlier, they can play against a lot of different people. They were susceptible to the big play early in the year. It's kind of plagued them all year, but you take away some of those and our record is drastically different. So you're talking about not missing a tackle, getting that gang tackling in, fixing your coverage so the wide receiver bomb, the go route is not a touchdown. Things like that. We're talking about a drastically different season, even with all the problems that we've talked about that we've had. So are they capable? 100% they are. We just hope that that's what shows up today.
Well, let me ask you this then, Jed. We've seen these youngsters, these young secondary players cutting their teeth the last month or so, and it's been a rough month for the Herd. We haven't been able to notch a win, and, you know, the entire month of October, and now we're into November, and it's not starting off too hot in November either. So are we to the point now to where these guys have gotten their feet wet enough that you're going to have to go up against an air raid offense and make more plays than you've been making? Are these guys going to be able to do that today?
Yeah, you know, and I'll echo what Russ said. I mean, they are capable, and I think they are. We see it in micro doses, right? So I don't think we have yet to see a complete game from this team, top to bottom, on offense or defense. So, but we do have talented players. Yeah. You've got young players that, you know, that's part of that learning curve as you're growing, you're not going to play a complete game potentially. So what I'm looking for today is, you say it every game, but you're looking for consistency, right?
Consistency. I knew that was coming.
You're looking for consistency, and I know that's a buzzword and easy to say. You know, you got. I mean, you got a lot of upset fans and this and that. I mean, but to bring it a little bit down to reality is, I mean, this team is capable of winning, and they have the pieces that they can put together tonight that I think they can pull together. And so when we get to the score predictions, you're going to say, I think we're going to win tonight. I think we're going to see a little bit of life on offense, but it's going to come down to from the coaches all the way down. It's everybody. I think it's been a team problem. It's just from the top to the bottom, just having that consistency. And I think we're going to see some of it tonight. Maybe this is just my my optimism here, but
your hopeless optimism.
My hopeless optimism. I'm ready. I'm ready to get crushed again here. No, but
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. It's 75 week. I'll never bet against the herd on 75. I'll just never do it.
Yeah.
Because I've been to too many of those games to where it looked like we shouldn't have a chance, and we end up playing out of our minds and convincingly beat a team that's either at least on par with us or slightly better.
Yeah.
Right? And then we've been in those games that were tooth and nail games, and there's that one freakish play that is just always some sort of differentiator during the game to give Marshall either a shot of momentum to where they can make something happen, or it's a direct play that gives the herd a lead and they're able to build off of and move toward victory. I've been a part of it too many times.
Take a shot. KD said differentiator.
Yeah.
That's the ThunderCast drinking game.
Yeah.
Every time I say differentiator or somebody says consistency, then you have to take a shot.
Well, so let's talk about the offense a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that.
Huge swirling rumors all day long.
I want to squash the rumor, guys.
Okay.
I want to squash it right here, right now. I am not starting in today's game. I just want to squash that rumor.
I didn't know if you had any eligibility left.
Oh, so. I do. I do have eligibility. I'm waiting for the coach to come get me and ask me to play, but
you're pretty close to the stadium. I mean, it's not a far walk.
I'm right here. Yeah, I'm ready to suit up.
Yeah. So the rumor is we're going to see Cole Pennington start for the first time this week. I kind of thought with the performance of Cam at the end of last week that might be something that we see to try to shake things up, because we're looking at 3 straight games under 10 points. Turnovers have been up from the quarterback over the last couple of weeks, so it just seems like a time to start something different. So it'll be interesting to see. We do not expect a young freshman. I know he's a redshirt freshman. We're 9 games into this season. This is the 10th game. You're not going to expect a freshman to come out and just tear it up. I mean, you're not. So I really hope that he does. I hope he puts up astounding numbers. But I don't think that we can get disappointed if he doesn't.
Right.
If he has a average game or below average game, you're still thinking, okay, here's a freshman quarterback. He's got a long way to go.
Yeah, I think it depends on who you're asking, because there are plenty of people that expect a Pennington to walk into the game as a starter for the first time and put up All-American numbers. And it's just unfair. It's not realistic to expect that, right? Is it possible? Yeah. Because anything's possible. I mean, let's go back a couple of games to Coastal Carolina. We didn't think their backup quarterback was going to come in and turn in a top quarterback performance of the week either. But damn it if he didn't do it.
Yeah, we didn't know that they had 1995 Tommy Frazier as their backup quarterback.
But now, is it fully capable? Is it fully possible for Cole Pennington, if he is the starter today, to do that? Hell yeah, it is. And I hope I see it, right? And I think if we do see Cole get the start today, one, I'd be really happy with that, because that means he has developed enough in practice. He has overtaken and earned the job, right? It's not a scenario to where it's like, well, and so you're not as good yet, you're not ready yet, but we're going to put you in. So that means that he has progressed enough to earn the spot. Now, I've been on the fence with making a quarterback move, because the goal of making a bowl game is still on the table. And I thought, well, you don't really shake it up that bad if you don't have to, one. But as long as the goals are still on the table, then, you don't really stir the pot that much. But this might be what you need to do to get over that hump and to get that 5th, then 6th, and maybe 7th win. And let's not gloss over the fact that this will just add to the story, the Pennington story, the overall Pennington story. It's 75 week. You get your first career start on 75 week.
Yeah.
That just adds a layer to the story, you know? Like 4 years from now, you'll be able to turn back and go, man, it was 75 week in 2023 and Cole got his first start, and, you know, that really set the career off. So I'm just eager to see who it is, who's quarterback one. No matter who it is, they've got my full support. That's just always the way it's going to go, always, right? But will it surprise me if he gets the start? No, because the Appalachian State performance was bad last week. It was just bad. We couldn't do anything offensively that showed any type of consistency.
59 yards at halftime. 3 points. That's several times this year. We've been at 0 or 3 at halftime.
And perhaps of all the interceptions this year, the worst one we've seen came last week in that throw that never should have been close to being intercepted.
Yeah, there's been some that have been right at someone wasn't seen or whatever, but this was a decision interception to where you just chuck it away. Like you said, it should have never been thrown.
So it's been I don't want to call it a spiral, but we've been trending downward for, better part of a month. You know, Georgia State still had a pretty decent offensive showing, but really after that, it just was starting to go downhill, and it went downhill pretty fast.
And we've seen injuries contribute to that. We've seen it's not all just on the quarterback. Like we've said, you know, receivers have had drops. We've had receivers having trouble getting separation. We've had blocking issues, and we're not just talking offensive line. We're talking about everyone that has to block. And even a screen pass, one of your wide receivers over in that area at a very minimum has to make that block, and we've seen tackles behind the line of scrimmage because we're not getting blocks there. So it's top to bottom problems on the offense. We're not blaming on coaching, we're not blaming on players. It's everyone has struggled over these past 3 games, obviously not putting up yards, not putting up 10 points a game. But we're not here to beat a dead horse. We're just telling you today, supposedly, we're going to have a new starting quarterback. We're going to see if there's a change and a little bit of spark to that offense. It may or may not be just because of Cole. It may just be that someone's healthy enough. Rasheen Ali comes from 70% to more like 95. That drastically changes the game.
That's right. Yeah. I think you would take his 95% over a lot of running backs 100% in the country.
Yeah,
so
probably 75 to 80% of those running backs.
And we should say, you know, it would be nice to, if Cole gets the opportunity to start, then I want to be able to see what he can do from the opening whistle. Yeah. Right? Not coming in already down several touchdowns, and, you know, there's really not much you can do because you're already kind of down. You're just trying to keep from getting out. And in a lot of these games, when your offense isn't putting up points, you're already out. It's just a matter of getting the zeros on the clock to get out of there. So this Georgia State offense, though, is going to pose a huge problem for the defense. I don't know that Marshall's built at this point in the season to get in a passing shootout. You know, we haven't been very productive through the air this year, but can a changing quarterback do that for the Herd? Can it provide enough of a spark that you can go a little bit more punch for punch? I don't know, Jed. Let's examine that. Can Marshall find enough electricity in the offense to get into a 30-plus point shootout?
The problem is we've not been able to do that. I'm not saying it's impossible, because you look at NC State, a game that I believe we should have won. And we put up a lot of points. We scored against a very good defense in NC State. So and I hate being beating the same drum, but you know, we have the capability, the capable players to do it. I'm not super optimistic that we'll see that tonight. I'm hoping to eat crow on that, but we haven't proven that we can consistently do that. So I would, if you know, this is a Jed guess here, we're probably game planning in a way where, you know, that's probably not going to happen. I see this as a lower scoring affair, especially if the defense can maintain the the big breakout plays and play like I know they can play, then I think you're going to see this as a little bit lower scoring affair until I'm shown otherwise. It's just we've just not been able to consistently do it. So
Well, I think this game absolutely favors the Herd if it's a dogfighting, low-scoring game. Because right now, that's absolutely the only way we're built offensively is to score 10, because we're not really able to go above that here in the past couple of weeks. And I'd love to see 21, 24, 27 points, maybe more get on the board. But if Marshall can create turnovers and keep Georgia Southern's offense stagnant, actually get some bending but don't breaking instead of the long chunk plays for touchdown. If we can get into that bend but don't break, I'm fine with giving up yards. Just don't give up points, right? I would love to get in a 13-10 shootout because I love our chances more so in something like that than a 31-28 kind of game. So how about some keys, Russ? What do you got for me for keys to victory for the Herd?
Well, I'm going to echo what I said earlier this week. Got to put points up. No brainer, right? But, a lot of points. We've got to put up a lot of touchdowns. We can't come away with a field goal or a missed field goal or, we at least got down there, but we had to punt, pin them back. Yeah. We need to get some points on the board. That's my number one key.
Well, how about you, Jed? What's the single most important thing that the Herd's got to do this week?
I'm gonna same thing I've been saying, fellas. Consistency.
Take a shot. Everyone out there, take a shot.
Hold on, make it fair. No, but it has to be because that's the one thing we've not done. We've lost to what I feel is to be not inferior opponents, but we've lost games where I think we've lost games. It's been on us losing those games, and not to take away from App State, Coastal, and those and those teams. But we've not been able to put together a complete game. So we need to, offensive line needs to block the person in front of them. The wide receivers got to make that little extra effort to bring that ball in before he turns and runs. There's those little things that we have to play consistently as a team and as individuals as well. So I'm going with key number one is consistency on the individual and the team level.
KD, after you give this key, before we go on to more, we're going to take a quick break to talk about the tailgate and everything, and then get back into everything.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll give you my first one, and I would actually would like to learn about the tailgate since I'm not there. But mine hasn't changed. The single biggest thing that the Herd's got to do this week is they have to take an early lead, and then they have to play from ahead while staying aggressive. Yeah. There ain't no chance in hell you're gonna run the clock out in the second quarter. So forget about that. Not against an air raid team. So the only way you're going to be able to stay competitive and hope to win is to take an early lead, play from ahead, stay aggressive, and hope that you can continue to move the football. Now, let's talk about the tailgate before we get a couple of more points.
Yeah,
let's talk about what Landscaping by Hillcrest put on for the fans today.
Yeah, so Tom with Landscaping by Hillcrest is right off camera over here, and they have provided yet another amazing tailgate with plenty of food. I'm going to give you the patented little up-to-the-camera view here of the burgers. Fresh off the Blackstone griddle over there. Jed, can you hit us with camera 2? No one's manning it right now, but you see Jake in the background. He has been the grill master today. We've got some homemade pimento cheese and freshly grilled bacon to go on top of these burgers. Grilled onions, all kinds of different toppings, whatever you want to put on your burger, we got it over here. And it's all made possible by Landscaping by Hillcrest.
Yeah. So, again, folks, for all you guys that are listening that didn't listen to the ThunderCast earlier in the week, if you're in the Huntington area and you're looking to transform your space, and you're looking for, you've got this vision that of the way you want your backyard or your patio area to look, you don't need to start vetting a dozen different contractors and landscape specialists. All you need to do is to go on the web and go to Landscaping by Hillcrest, or make that one phone call and give them a holler and say, hey, here's what I'd like to do. can we talk about that? And I guarantee you're going to like the result.
I'm going to take it a step further. One, you don't have to be in the Huntington area. Tom and I were just talking. A massive job that they just finished was in a suburb of Cincinnati. They go all over. So you're talking Kentucky, Virginia, Ohio. I know he's been in all three of those states. I think they've went a little further. It just depends on what you got going on. The other part of that is if you don't have a vision, you just say, I'm tired of my blank canvas that I have over here. They will come out and they have a computer program where they will show you their ideas of what it will look like and just say, give me a couple of things. It's like, well, I'd like a place for the entire family to enjoy. So they will bring back to you, how about this? And then you just tailor it from there. So you may be the worst design person. You may say, I just know I'm tired of my backyard. I'm tired of my side yard. I'm tired of this open field. I'm tired of whatever. Tom, what can we do? And they will come out, they will design it top to bottom, and it'll be the best stuff you've seen around that lasts forever and ever. I've been on some of their job sites where they put the pavers down 15 years ago and they haven't moved an inch and there's no weeds coming up between them. That's because they do it correctly the first time.
Yeah. So if you're serious about transforming your space, then you need to be serious about who you hire. And there's nobody better than Landscaping by Hillcrest.
They've got another product too called Rubberstone, and you can put this over. It's basically a sealed, I don't know, it's a little polymer, little beads that go down, and you can put it over driveways, porches. They've done basketball courts. They've done outdoor areas before you go into businesses, leading the steps and the little gathering area outside. Rubberstone, they put it down, same way it's sealed. It has a warranty for years and years and years. You just come back, put a little more sealer on it every so often. You can put this over cracked asphalt, cracked concrete, to where you don't have to dig up your concrete, put more down, that sort of thing. They can go right over top of your existing structure. They can do just about any custom color that you want. It's just things that you don't think about when you hear the term landscaping. So go to landscapingbyhillcrest.com, like KD said, and see what they can do for you.
Yeah, and they've become such a big part of what we do here for the ThunderCast Tailgates. This is their third sponsorship of the season, and I think it's awesome that they have decided to. Who was that?
That's Anthony Herr's daughter.
I thought for a second it might have been Caitlin just trying to get on camera real quick. Anyway, but they've been become such a big part of what we do for the tailgating season. This is their third sponsorship of a ThunderCast tailgate, and it's only 5 games in, right? So we still have another one to go. But look, guys, we got about 30 minutes before I'm sure you guys want to get into the game. You're not going to want to miss the entrance and all that kind of stuff. So let's get one more key to victory, and then we'll get some MVPs and a score prediction. I'm going to let you guys tear it down and get into the game. Yeah,
so second for me is got to be the defense. I covered the offense, got to score points. Defense, we've got to prevent those big gains when it seems like we've got them behind the line of scrimmage. We've got them on 3rd and 19, and they end up getting the first downs, and they put together a drive, and they go down and score. We've got to eliminate that. Obviously, you would love to see a shutout. You'd love to see, hey, they got us for 1 touchdown. But if we can eliminate these situations and force them to punt when we have them, and we're just a few inches away, a foot away from stopping them, we've just got to actually do it this game.
Yeah. Jed, what's your other largest key to victory for the Herd?
Well, I think today is we've got to win the turnover battle. I think on offense it's protecting the ball, and on defense, I'd like to see a couple quarterback hurries turn into some sacks, maybe turn into a forced fumble or an interception or something like that. I'd like to see this disruptive defense that we know that it can produce, and I'd like to see them produce some turnovers. Well, on the offensive side, let's protect the ball. So win the turnover battle for me.
Yeah, I'm going to echo the same key to victory that I had during the ThunderCast, but I also want to add a little element to that. Now, my actual true key to victory is, like I mentioned in the show earlier this week, I think those youngsters in the secondary that have been cutting their teeth over the last month absolutely just have to play much, much better this week, because this is an air raid offense, and you can't tell me that those coaches for Georgia Southern haven't been film studying and going, you know what? We think we have an advantage here. We think we have an advantage there. We think we can fool this guy here doing this. And all that stuff just kind of has to minimize this week, right? And having a guy like J.J. Roberts back there to sort of be the general of that secondary and get guys lined up the right way and get people's, all on the same page with coverage is going to be huge. The thing I didn't talk about, look at Dev back there. The thing I'm going to say that I didn't say during the show is this is a great
Devin
game
Miller.
for the staple at the ThunderCast tailgates now.
That's step in the spot. That's Devin Miller. He's damn glad to meet you.
The thing that I didn't mention during the show is this is a great game for Owen Porter to have that senior, massively important, effective game and come out with 2 or 3 sacks and maybe a turnover or 2. That is my other key to victory for the Herd.
Mr. Brendan Knox and Dominic Murphy.
Yeah, we'll get Brandon Knox and Dominic Murphy over here for just a few minutes.
Yeah. Let me grab a headset real quick.
Go ahead, KD. Sorry.
That's all right. I got my point across. Before you get your guess on here, how about a quick score prediction?
Score prediction, I'm still going 31-28. I think that's what I said on the show. Obviously, big turnaround from 9, 6, 9, those type scores. We're going to have to get some touchdowns to do that, but I see the Herd turning around, and I see 31-28.
Hey, Brent, how you doing, man?
Knox, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Well, I'm sticking with mine as well. I still think the Herd is going to put up some scoring today. I like 27-24. It won't surprise me if it's a dogfighting, street fighting type game in a 13-10 or a 13-6 type deal, but give me 27-24. Give me the Herd. They just don't lose on freaking 75 week, and that shit ain't changing this week.
All right, we got Brendan Knox over here. How you doing, sir?
What's up?
Doing well, man. How about you?
Doing just fine. We're talking about the game here, but we talked a little bit about 75 week to start off. This tops, it doesn't matter, KD said, doesn't matter who the opponent is, doesn't matter how the season's been going. It's 75 week, and that's different. Would you like to touch on that for just a second as someone that played during these?
Most definitely. Myself, along with the guys that I'm with, former teammates, this is a special week for not only us, but, the rest of the community. This game has always been special. We've always felt like we've had like a certain type of energy, kind of guarding us throughout the week. We've always found a way to get it done, and hopefully it can do the same this week.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the game today? Do you have any keys that you think that we might see out here or anything like that?
Not that I can think of now, as long as we just play our game, just trying to minimize, mistakes and things of that sort, and just, play the game that we know that we can. I think we'll be just fine.
We were just talking. We've had 3 straight games under 10 points. We see it turning around today. 75 week, what better week to do it, right? So I said 31-28. KD, what did you have?
I said 27-24. I think the scoring comes out, man. To hell with it. It's time for the Herd to cut loose.
Yeah, so we're thinking this is the game. Turn it around, get some points on the board, honor the 75, and we really think that it might be a little bit of an offensive shootout back and forth. So what's Brendan Knox up to now? Where are you at?
I just wrapped up the XFL season with Dwayne The Rock Johnson in May. Very exciting, very fun with a bunch of other pros just like myself. Just training, staying healthy, and getting ready to get back into the mix next season.
Gotcha, man. Sounds awesome. What team are you with XFL?
The Seattle Sea Dragons.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Is it going to be back with Seattle? Or
let's hope all the legal things work out, man, and we get to just do what we love and spin again next season and just rock out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
love the concept of the XFL. Love the fact that we have an alternative that used to be, if you didn't make the NFL, you've got nowhere else to go to play. Everyone wants to play. Everyone wants to play pro, and there's some damn good football in the XFL.
Definitely.
Yeah. KD, we got 27-24. We got 31-28. Brendan, would you like to guess?
I got 28-21, man. I think that's humble.
28-21. We're all kind of saying, hey, the offense comes back, right? So let's see how it goes. Let's see if we can.
I think that's humble.
Yeah.
He said, I think that's humble. So I'm expecting even more points if he thinks that's humble. Give me 30 plus. Give me 35. Man, let's run him out of the fucking Jones.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything you would like to say to anybody before we?
Man, it's always a pleasure being back, man. Let's hope we get the job done today, man, and just pay homage. That's it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. KD would like to have you on in the future. We do a spin-off show called
Absolutely.
Inside the Thunder, which is a one-on-one interview with former athletes. So we'd love to have you on, let you talk to people.
Talk about your journey.
Talk to people about your time here and what you've been doing since.
Definitely. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
All right, so we're going to wrap up the show here in a minute. And KD, we've got, again, Landscaping by Hillcrest making all this happen. We've got Jed with Ignite Link, who is over here making all this happen so we can even watch this. We can even come live to people out there on YouTube right now. We cannot thank our sponsors enough for what they're doing. We've got a game to go to. We've got to tear this down. We've got to eat. We've got to get in there and watch that video. The video gives me chills every year. I don't know how it is for you guys coming out of the tunnel and everything, but I've got to go watch that video. I got to get my belly full before I go do it. So we're going to take it out of here. KD, you got anything final to say before we do it?
No, you guys go enjoy the game day, man. I'm just going to keep it nice and warm down here in sunshiny Florida.
Jed, how about you?
Nice for the herd.
I'm good. Let's sign us off.
Jed said he's good. We're going to go. So whether you see us in the Cam, whether you see us in the Joan, or whether you see us at 75 week, rocking the hell out of some offense for a change on the past 3 weeks. Wherever you see us, we're going to be saying, go herd. Go herd. It's the ThunderCast.